Hello, my name is Dinda. So now we are gonna talk about mental health care that disrupt cycles of violence. There's a shocking statistic I want to share with you. Latin America is a home to only 8% of world population, but one-third of its homicides. This is especially extreme in the Northern Triangle countries of Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador. Just imagine impact that this kind of unrelenting violence can have on person health, productivity, and well-being. Especially because we know that if we are exposed to violence, this can result in trauma. And when that happens, our brain starts respond actually shut down core function like problem solving, critical thinking, and emotional regulation. And it elevates the ones that we need to protect ourselves and survive. It can also increase our risk of lungs and heart disease, anxiety, and depression. To matters worse, we know that exposure to violence can lead more violence. Research has shown that survivors of violence can be up to 6 times more likely to either be involved with violence and be re-victimized. It's literally definition of vicious cycle. The good news is we know that we can interrupt this cycle by addressing the underlying trauma with better access to mental health care. The only problem is access to mental health care in this community is virtually non-existent. So we are left with this classic conundrum. We know to help solve the problem, but we don't have the resource to it. And now you know that we need mental health care community. This has been done and it's work. And I want to tell you a little bit about the healthcare community that at Glasswing. They train thousands of government employees such as teachers, nurses, doctors, and police officers on trauma education and self-care. They train health workers to be able to recognize the signs of trauma, helping patients understand what they are experiencing. In school, we know that children and young people have access to caring adults who can help them cope with stress, their courage improve, their conduct improve, and their resilience. 90% of police officers who trained actually feel better able to regulate their emotion and deal with anxiety and fear. 80% even said they feel better equipped to help their peers. And now, I want to share a story with you. Back in 2018, when Guatemala mental health care team was working in community with really high rates of crime, violence, and stigma, one of school they were working in is actually a school where kids ended up if they got expelled or if they got trouble. So that's why Walter, a 17-year-old student, was really surprised and little confused when Olivia, one of trauma-informed school coordinator, showed up and recruited him and his friend to work at the local primary school. But Olivia from that community, and she knew that if she could empower a young man like Walter to become involved and become a school coordinator, she could not only transform his life but also the life of the kids he would work with. So sure enough, a couple of weeks later, Walter was trained and leading a group of 20 little kids in Glee Club. He loves it. He loved it so much that he continued to show up to every week for over 2 years. But one afternoon, one of Walter's neighbors ran into the school screaming that Walter had to get home because his sister had been shot and killed. Walter stranded out, and as he described it, he felt his mind and body go numb. Then he felt his heart start to race and his chest filled with rage. He knew who killed his sister, and he ran up to his room and got a gun. Let me pause for a sec. Do you remember when I told you a minute ago about how violence can lead to more violence? That could have been a Walter, but it was not, because he said that when he pictured his mentor Elvia and little Glee Club kid finding out that their role model had killed someone, he put gun down. And that's right there is where the cycle of violence stopped. That's everything. I have other story like Walter and Elvia, but to interrupt and to stop this epidemic of violence, we need thousand more. So really, we know that violence happens between people, but so does healing. That's where it starts. So we know the power lies in people, in relationship, and a community healing itself. One of my favorite quotes by Viktor Frankl in Man's Search for Meaning is between stimulus and response, there's space. And that space is our power to choose our response. And in our response lies our growth and our freedom. Our goal is literally infiltrate the space in between violent stimulus and response with mental health knowledge and skills so that communities can pave their own way to healing and resilience. Thank you.